Welcome to the Pinnacle Podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Christopher Dawkins.
And I'm Fern and Dawkins.
And in celebration of 25 years of excellence in Black business, we're excited to bring you this Pinnacle Podcast, where we'll be talking with past Pinnacle Award winners who've gone on to have great success in their businesses. Both of us are members of the Greater Houston Black Chamber and entrepreneurs. My business is C. LeGrand Dawkins Enterprises, where we specialize in commercial real estate, that's brokerage services and construction.
And my business is JM Cardi Holdings, LLC, and we are a local multi-unit Smoothie King franchisee.
The Pinnacle Awards will be held Saturday, October 19th. Be sure to grab your tickets at www.ghbcc.com. Again, that's www.ghbcc.com. Today, we are so honored to have Miss Patricia Williams with us, who is the head of the Imani School here in Houston, which is an establishment. If you're African American or other in this community, you know about the Imani School.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to join us.
Well, I'm just delighted to be here. Thank you both so much for inviting me.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So, Ms. Williams, the Imani School is a staple in the Houston community, and it has a stellar reputation for excellence in education that is so well respected, not just in our community, but in the entire Houston community. How has the school been able to build and maintain a great track record for such a long time?
Well, I think that with building the reputation and with maintaining the reputation, what we understand is that it doesn't matter what you did last year or for those children. What counts is how you serve your children today.
Okay.
And not the children, but each child. We have an obligation to each parent that trusts us with their child. And so every day, we work to serve our children, to make life better for my children, to help them to become everything God has purposed them to be.
Yeah.
And that's what we've done for 31 years, and I think that's what has sustained us.
That is such solid advice. You know, I think many entrepreneurs, they think about or one of the circuit breakers that kind of get them caught up in their journey is, oh, I didn't have a great year last year, or, you know, I've been working at this for the past 10 years and I'm not where I want to be. And it sounds like what you're saying is reflecting on those things aren't going to get you where you're going to need to go. They're not going to help you pave the reputation you want. If you just continue to strive for the excellence that's in front of you, the opportunity for excellence, rather, that's in front of you today, that's how you sort of create your path.
That is the way you create your path, is making sure that you're being excellent today with whomever your clients are, with whomever your families are. Serve them well.
Yeah.
And you're going to have hiccups. You're going to have some years that are better than others.
Yeah.
You're going to have competition that arises. We've certainly seen all of that.
Yeah.
But if we just keep doing our best every day, for every family, for every child, then that's...
So tell us a little bit then about, I think that's leading us into, why did you start your business? How was the vision birthed, and what made you come up with the idea that this was the line of work you were going to get into?
This was not my idea.
Really? I did not know that.
No. I was here at TSU.
Okay.
And I was a member of Windsor Village United Methodist Church. But my volunteer service, my ministry there, was social services.
Okay.
So I served the food pantry, and we did after back to school things and Christmas things. And I heard my pastor speaking to another member of the church who was also here on staff at TSU, and they were talking about opening a daycare. And I was working, but I could hear them talking. And they didn't have a clue as how to do early childhood. And I said that, you know. And then the pastor called me and asked me, would I come and open a daycare? Well, I never wanted to do daycare. In fact, I loved being here at TSU. And I said, quit my J and come work at a church? That's too boring. No, I can't do that.
Right.
But then I thought about it would be fun. What I was doing was training teachers here, and it would be nice to see if you can do it. that was not my vision, but we opened our first name was the Imani School for Young Children, because as I told my pastor, I didn't want to keep children.
Right.
But I was interested in how can we teach them? How can we develop them?
Right.
And so our actual name is the Imani School for Young Children. And we began with 25 3- and 4-year-olds.
Wow.
God is so wise, and he knows what you can handle.
Yeah.
So he let me see just a little peek. And could I do preschool?
Yeah.
And that's how we started.
Wow.
And then, but God's promise is that if you're faithful over a few things, He'll make you master of many.
Oh, yes.
So we began with our 25 children, and then it just grew. And the parents said, well, Miss Williams, add kindergarten. And I said, I used to teach kindergarten. I can do that.
Yeah.
And then, well, we can't just put them out at first grade.
Right.
I used to teach first grade. I can do that. And so,
little by little.
It grew little by little, step by
wow.
step.
That's amazing.
So over the last 31 years, I imagine that there have been challenges.
Yes.
Talk to us about a challenge you had that others hearing about it could benefit from how you handled it.
There have been many challenges. One of the challenges that was had an impact upon us was the birth of charter schools. Should we go charter? Should we remain a Christian school? Then the perception that charter schools are free private schools. So those were challenges, which then made us look and say, now we have to be worth. What I'm very conscious about is that within our community, there are some, but not a lot of people who just have money to waste.
Yeah.
Or to, as an old people saying says, if you can get milk free, why buy a cow?
Right.
Yeah.
So trying to make sure that the services that we provide are worth parents trusting us to do it. And so we are constantly looking at ourselves to see how can we be better in terms of how we serve our families? How can we make sure that our children are academically, they cannot be average.
Right.
Nobody's looking for an average plumber. Nobody's looking for an average farmer. No, my children cannot be average.
Right.
How can we provide for my children so that our USP, which is committed to excellence for the glory of God, that we live that, and that my children always have that extra edge.
Yeah.
And that confidence. You see, there are other people, you're going to learn to read eventually. But my children are going to have that confidence and belief in themselves that gives them that extra something when they go. And so that's the way we've met it, is to try to be better, to make sure we're serving better.
What an incredible mantra. And, listening to you speak, it just sounds like everything just came together perfectly. You were led by God to this, and, little by little, He showed you that there was opportunity for increase, and He allowed that to happen. And so I kind of feel like this is a stupid question to ask you, but looking back, is there anything you'd have done differently? Because for me, it seems like it just all went perfectly, right? Everything went so great. How do I even ask that question? But surely, in hindsight, is there anything you would have done differently on the path that the Imani School has been on that you say, we should have taken this turn or that, or not have done this, or if I could do it all over again, I would add this feature?
That's a good question. I don't know that there's anything that we would do differently. We grew slowly.
Okay.
We grew in response to the request of my parents. We try to make the best hires that we can. When we make a mistake, If we've made a mistake in hiring, we don't make the mistake in keeping.
That's good.
That's important.
That's good
for
advice
every
for
business owner.
every business owner.
That's right.
Yeah, we no need to make it two.
No,
Make
see,
one mistake.
That's right.
We once had a friend tell us this, and it rings true.
Hire slow, fire fast.
Right? You've never kept an employee or let an employee go and then thought to yourself, "Oh, I should have kept him one more day." You're always like, "I should have done that earlier."
Right, but you always think I kept somebody too long.
Too long.
Yes.
That's really good
That's a
advice.
great piece.
And that's really,
So when you look at yourself 31 years ago, what would you 31 years ago say to you now?
I would have hired a development director. That's one thing that I would have done.
And why do you think that would have been such a benefit to the business now?
Because we walk a fine line. We want to be accessible to my community.
Right.
Because to the families that we serve. And yet, we want to also be able to, it's not fair to my teachers for them to bear the burden of the sacrifice financially.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get a discount at the grocery store because you work at a Christian school.
Right.
So in order to attract and maintain the best faculty,
Mm-hmm.
I want, and because I ask them to go above and beyond, and they do,
Yeah.
I would like to be able to pay them more. And if I had hired a development director, that would have, I think, made it easier for me to write more grants, to seek more outside funding, and so forth. But the good thing, God has a way of working things out. And even when in your weakness, when it's His purpose, He'll make it work in spite of you, in spite of my weaknesses. And that's definitely one that I have, is being willing to seek financial assistance.
Yeah.
But the teachers that are with me are there because they are committed to the education of my children.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they've been there 25, 27 years, 24 years, 20 years. I've seen them grow up with me. And they're there because of their commitment to children.
Right.
And they are the cornerstones, if you will,
Yeah.
of Imani.
Right.
Yeah.
They and this Pinnacle Award was not for me, but it was an affirmation of them and how they have changed the lives of children.
Yeah.
They're awesome.
But it's also a credit to you as the leader of this organization that you're able to attract committed employees in that way, committed staff members that buy into what was first your vision, and it becomes their vision, and they're able to help you execute it in the way that you have. Talk to us a little bit. I mean, that is a true credit to you, because I think as any entrepreneur that also employs people in your business, you want people. What you need is for people to buy into your vision.
That's true.
You
That's
know,
very true.
and in a time when people take jobs and they're saying the average person stays on the job like a couple years, millennials
That's
especially, you don't see that kind of longevity. So how amazing that you have that kind of longevity in your organization. And you brought up the Pinnacle Awards, and in this podcast, it's one of the things we want to highlight, that the Greater Black Chamber of Houston, what it does is highlight champions in our community who are doing excellent things with their businesses. Talk to us about what that award meant to you in 2016 or 2017 when you got your award, and what did that mean for the school and for the entire community celebrating you in that way?
Wow, it was such an honor. It really was, to be recognized by the Greater Houston Black Chamber. Was just really special. It was an affirmation for all of us that what we're doing, we're on the right path. That someone noticed that we're doing it, And it's so not a Pat Williams thing. It's just not, I'm the voice of it, I'm the face of it, but it's the teachers who bring life to the vision.
Oh, absolutely.
Who make it come to pass. Otherwise, it's just words on a piece of paper.
Right.
Or words, that sound good. But because of my teachers, And the Pinnacle Awards was an affirmation of that.
Mhm.
And they were proud, of themselves. And several of them came with me to be
Mhm.
recognized that night. And I'm really grateful for them. And I'm grateful to the chamber for recognizing us, And it was a wonderful evening, as are they all. And I met so many wonderful young entrepreneurs, and that was fun for me. And one of them joined my board.
Nice.
Yes. I met him at one of the pre-gala activities,
Mhm.
and I just fell in love with him and asked Warren Broadnax
Yes,
to
of course.
join the board,
She happy hair, yes.
Yes, and I thought that was just so much fun,
Yeah.
his story and
Mhm.
everything.
Yeah.
And one of my other awardees has become one of my parents,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
so it has raised the visibility of the school within our community,
Sure.
and allowed me an opportunity to interact with young entrepreneurs such as yourself that have such interesting stories. I'm from a generation, that you could be a doctor, lawyer, Indian chief, and here you all do things that we've never heard of, and it's just wonderful.
I mean, thanks to shoulders like yours. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
And your commitment to educating us, even at the most infantile level now, right? Because we were talking before we went on air about the addition of the infant and toddler program at the Imani School, which also speaks to your willingness to evolve, right? And note that there's a change. Ms. Williams shared with us that the research started to show that, development of a child starts even at birth. And so you opened opened the Imani School to infants and toddlers as well. And that's good advice for entrepreneurs, right? To be willing to see where the need is and to meet it.
It's all about meeting the need. It's not about so much what you want to do, but how can I serve? And what is the need? And if we are fulfilling a need, and if you're serving, if you move out of your own way and seek to serve, then first of all, your life means something. You have a purpose. And then it doesn't feel like work. Because you are walking in your lane.
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
And isn't that what we all want, for it to not feel like work?
Right. Well,
oh my goodness.
We thank you so much for coming out today and sharing your story and giving us some knowledge and
Such wisdom.
Inspirational things that we can take with us as well.
Absolutely.
Truly, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I appreciate it.
And let me say this, Houston, one of the things about the Pinnacle Awards that's special, and you heard Mrs. Williams allude to this, the people that she was able to meet and network with and then have become a part of her team in various ways. The gala this year is on October the 19th. And we mentioned, you can grab your ticket at www.ghbcc.com. And we would like for you to come out and support this wonderful gala where we celebrate champions like Miss Williams, and to have the opportunity to sit down and have dinner and dancing and to meet and greet with individuals like the wonderful Miss Patricia Williams is just worth the ticket.
True.
So go get your ticket.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
And we look forward to talking to everyone again on the next episode. Thank you so much.
Thank you.